Hello and welcome to today's video where I show you some HM-2 style pedals that have fewer knobs than the original. So let's start with the fewest knobs possible, or at least that I own, and that's the ARB Custom Lake. This one has one knob and one switch, and this is actually just a volume knob. So the sound is pre-dialed and you have very little capability of variation with this switch. I really like the sound. It's no close HM-2, but it can do a really good chainsaw. And yeah, I use this whenever I want to have a more open, sludgier HM-2 sound. From the same series of one knob, one switch pedals comes the More, again from ARB Custom Lake. And this one is a dedicated chainsaw. It has the chainsaw circuitry with, again, the volume, and here I think it's just a boost. This one I really like. It's very low noise, as is the Lake, and I use this whenever I want to really have a quick chainsaw, don't want to have much tweaking options, and yeah, very simple, easy to use, sounds awesome. So those were all my one knob HM-2 pedals, but I have of course a two knob HM-2 pedal, and this is the TC Electronics iMaster. The iMaster is very inexpensive. It has two knobs, it's gain and volume, so again the EQ is pre-dialed in, and I don't use it this much. Christian, Nightbearer's second guitar player, used it actually before he got his Pepas pedals custom HM-2. And this one, if you want to explore the sound, don't want to spend lots of money, you can basically don't make anything wrong when purchasing the iMaster. It's even cheaper when bought used. Well, almost all pedals are cheaper when buying used. I of course set the volume always to max and gain to taste around 9 o'clock. So all of the aforementioned pedals sound best when played in front of a driven amp. Now this one here, the Abominable and God City Instruments Evil Net, sounds actually best or sounds equally good in front of a clean amp, because we have two knobs. Again, one knob is for the chainsaw and one knob is, well, like to say generic, but I believe it's not generic, but it's a generic distortion circuitry. So you have basically a distortion pedal with a blended HM-2 flavor. I think this is HM-2, or maybe this, I don't know. This sounds really cool in front of a clean amp as well as in front of the distorted amp. However, since we don't have really an option to handle the amount of gain, it might be too much gain. These days I don't use it this much, I just have it for collecting purposes. Next up is the DoD American Metal. This is not the Super American Metal, this has four knobs. The American Metal just has three knobs. And funny thing is, the presence is basically our EQ. It's for the highs. The lows are already dialed in, and then we have level and distortion that work as our typical HM-2. I like to dial in presence full, level actually also full, and distortion to taste. These days I don't use it this much. If I want to have a slightly different HM-2-ish flavor, I use the Super American Metal, because there I can tweak the bass. And I really don't like this mini TRS jack to power the pedal. I really don't like it. And the last of my few knobs than the original HM-2 is the Donna Giant Metal. I was really surprised by this pedal that it can do the chainsaw, and we have volume, tone, and distortion. And again, tone is basically our high EQ for the 950 and 1.2 Hertz, although it's a bit broader, so we don't have a bass here. And volume is of course volume, distortion, you know it. And we also have here a switch which I always leave at the boost off, because when it's boosted, it's really digital sounding and I don't like it. As with the American metal and almost all the others except the Evil Net, I really like to use this in front of distorted amp or slightly driven amp. And these days I actually don't use it because the sound is cool, but it's not my well, it's not the best HM-2 sound possible. But since this pedal is so inexpensive and has some other cool tones when you dial back the tone, I actually think it's superior to the TC Electronic iMaster, and therefore I would buy it if you want to check out the HM-2. You don't want to have an exact or close sound. The iMaster is way closer, and you just want to experiment with it. So those were all the pedals that I own, but I know there are plenty of other pedals. For instance, I once had the God City Instruments Murdoch for review purposes, but this was just an EQ. And I know there are a couple of other pedals which I don't have yet. So let me know down in the comments which pedal do you think I have to try out, which do I think I have to purchase. Just leave a comment. And well, if you want to support this channel, check out the links in the description. And with this said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. May the force be with you and have a nice day.